Hi Sagittarius, welcome to July. First week of the month, we have a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, your sector of money, tying up some kind of, the devil. It's going to release you from something quite restrictive. What's interesting is that Saturn is moving back into Capricorn. Saturn and Capricorn being the rulers of this card. It's breaking you free from some kind of restriction. Maybe not immediately. The next 6 months is really releasing you from some form of control. Something that just does not suit you anymore. Something that's too restrictive for your free spirit. Particularly in terms of work and money. It's releasing you from some kind of heavy influence that stopped you getting the momentum you needed, particularly as you have Jupiter, your ruler, in your sector of finance. So Capricorn, so Sagittarius, this is telling you that the lunar eclipse in Capricorn is setting you free. In the next 6 months, you could be changing jobs into something a lot more fulfilling. You could be making more money. You could be finally seeing a lift in terms of your perception of self-worth. I think for a lot of you this could be concerning in the sense that make sure you're not surrounding yourself or allowing people or energies in your life that makes you feel less than, that makes you feel unimportant, that makes you feel like you're not yourself. I think for a lot of you the devil energy is strong in that you could be somewhere or with someone or in some kind of place where you feel a bit trapped. For a lot of you, this is also a negative perception of self leading back to a domineering figure in your life, someone that was quite controlling. The eclipse wants to set you free from that. Now let's talk about the eclipse because it is in loose conjunction with your ruler, which is really good for money. So in the next 6 months, you will see some interesting changes there. Now Saturn will be in the same point until December. And then you will see a substantial lift. I would say by the last few months of the year, Sagittarius, financially, you'll be in a much better position, a much better spot. At least with potential as well. If it's not immediately clear, there will be the opportunities. The eclipse is also loosely, but mostly trine Uranus. And Uranus for you is a lot to do with how you communicate, but it's currently in a sector for you that is very much to do, again, with work. And you know that Uranus is all about breaking free. And again, in work, if you're feeling restricted, if you're feeling heavy, there's going to be big changes there. This is a very, very benefic Mercury's in retrograde, leave me alone. It's a very benefic full moon eclipse for you in terms of money and career. So just roll with the changes. Even if things seem very uncertain and shaky and you feel quite anxious about them, just roll with them. There are big changes. There's a lot of potential. And Saturn wants you to be very clear on that. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that, yes, to see a lunar eclipse be so well aspected in your money sector, but also have Saturn there restricting it somewhat, and also have Jupiter there emphasizing it, it can feel like ebbs and flows at times. It can feel like at some point you're getting somewhere, and then some point it's restricted. The point of this, Sagittarius, and I've made the first 4 minutes all about money basically. The point of this, Sagittarius, is to learn a few tough lessons in terms of adulting with money. You know, saving it, not spending it, not being so frivolous, because you do have to learn that in your life. You can be very carefree with money. It's part of your generous spirit and it's lovely, but it's also saving some for yourself and not getting carried away with Saturn there. So Capricorn energy for you can feel a bit sticky. You can feel a little bit like you're stuck in a glue pot where you can't move at times. And I think for a lot of you, you need that clarity, Ace of Swords, and you're going to get it with the eclipse. Even if it takes a moment to settle, you're going to get very clear on what it is that you want. and what it is that you need to say in particular, because with Saturn moving out of Aquarius, you're more clear on how you communicate. You really have a better grasp on saying exactly what you need. Saturn in Aquarius does not mute you, but it inhibits you a little bit, you know? Venus is in Gemini in your partnership sector. Ooh. And now that it is direct, Wheel of Fortune, some good luck is coming your way. The tides are changing. Wheel of Fortune also rules Jupiter. And connected to that eclipse, your ruler wants to give you some kind of unexpected gift, unexpected news, unexpected pleasure, something tangible that you can enjoy. Very nice. But Venus in Gemini is an interesting one. You've really had to do a lot of revisiting in terms of how you love, how you work with certain things, how you work with the day-to-day aspects in terms of romance, what you feel about love, how you're open to it, how you're not open to it, how you go after it, how you don't go after it. And you just want to be appreciated. Six of Wands. You're headed into a period where being appreciated for your skills, your time, your generosity is the most important thing. Where making something work is the most important thing. Where getting the acknowledgement is the most important thing. Where being respected, being adored, but mostly being respected. Queen of Swords, particularly if it involves an air sign, an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. You know that that's paramount to your happiness. You, of course, want someone to come along with your fun, to be along for the ride, to be an uplifting person in your life, to give you great fun, to enjoy experiences with, but you do need that respect. You know, the thing about Sagittarius is that you're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is very joyous, very gregarious, but he was still very philosophical and still had some very interesting points, still had some very interesting perspectives. And you, most of all, Sagittarius, need your perspectives to be appreciated. You need to know that people are listening to you. And you're very, very wise. Nine of Cups. There's that wish. With Jupiter aspecting the eclipse, this has been a common occurrence in the readings, which is lovely because I think we could all use a little Nine of Cups after the recent energies, and the energies in July are quite interesting too, especially as your ruler Jupiter is going to connect with Mars, and it's quite a tricky aspect, but it happens. In that respect, you could feel a little bit like you're spending too much money on a child, or you're spending too much money creatively and not getting as much out of it. You could really see where you're overspending in terms of your passions, in terms of romance, in terms of creativity. That's the gist of that. But I think for a lot of you, yeah, overspending in terms of children or in terms of good times. That's typical of you. I see Sagittarians on nights out and they just get out the card and go, woo, let's buy everything. Let's buy 60 shots and strange, unusual flavours that nobody actually knows or wants, like butterscotch. Actually, that sounds quite nice, but you know what I mean. Sagittarians are just great at spending money. And I think with Jupiter aspecting Mars, for a lot of you, it is to do with fun in terms of overspending. So just be careful of that this month. You do want to save a little bit for a rainy day, as I said, with, you know, Saturn being there. But other than that, it's a pretty nice hand. The Cancer energy, though, yeah, Judgment. The Cancer energy, though, can make you feel a little bit like a Scorpio. There can be some stuff comes up, there can be some stuff comes out that is quite intense. Big conversations, big changes, the need to make a big decision, the need to be very clear on what you want in your next step. Or a huge realization that comes from within. Or it could be to do with a Virgo. Nine of Wands and the Magician. Could be a Gemini, but for sure a lot of you are dealing with a Virgo. Okay. The South Node is in your sign and it's giving you a lot of karmic changes within you. It's really letting you reinvestigate the way that you live, the way that you see yourself, the way that you operate in the world, and it can feel quite touchy at times. But you're getting some very interesting insights now in terms of what that could be. I think for a lot of you this is discovering more of the way the universe works. Discovering a new spiritual belief, a new system, a teacher, a mentor. Getting very into asking the bigger questions of how it all works. And those are questions that you're used to, but there's always more to learn. Especially with the North Node over here in Gemini, directing you to connect with people. You're going to want to connect to people on a deeper level than you ever have. You're going to want a partnership more than you ever have. You're going to want to get married more than you ever have. And for a lot of you, because of past action, that might feel quite far away to you. But it's not. It's not. Venus is in Gemini. Over here is Gemini energy. Venus is in Gemini until August. You have a lot of interesting energy to connect that little bit deeper with people, provided you don't give up on it, provided you don't run away from it, provided you don't shoot your arrow and then get lost. Know your target. Know what you want. Know who you want. Know why you want it. And don't be afraid to want it. Especially if it's a Virgo. There are a lot of insights you're getting that you wish you'd known years ago. Imagine having Venus, planet of love, in the 7th house of partnerships, and Mars, the planet of, I'll say chemistry because I'm scared of getting demonetized. There's so many rules and regulations. The planet of chemistry. You know what I mean. In your 5th house of romance. Ooh. The masculine and feminine energies are really repping for you. So if you want to manifest something like that, it's an amazing time to do so. It's also an amazing time to get those kind of informations. Get that kind of energy flowing. Get that kind of knowledge. Get that kind of knowledge about what it is that you want. You've learned a lot from being alone. You've learned a lot from, dare I say, you've learned a lot from some very toxic people. The devil energy right off the bat, Sagittarius, is that you're releasing yourself from some kind of hold, some kind of manipulation or restriction or addiction or something that makes you feel, it made you feel very, very, very trapped. It also made you feel very out in the cold with somebody. And the times are changing now. You know, you've learned something very significant. You know something now that you didn't know 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Just don't give up on this. Whatever this is, this dream, this manifestation, this thing that you want to have in your life, you're getting the answers you need. and you can really turn around a bad situation. You really can. But I think the key, Sagittarius, is going and staying where you are respected. That'll be a big clue in July, is being where you're respected. I'm going to get into your extended reading. It's going to be linked below, and I will see you mid-July for some more tarot and astrology. See you, Sagittarius. Bye.